Imagine stepping into a place where warm mineral waters bubble from the earth. Steam rises through the stone columns, and echoes of ancient conversations linger in the air. This is no fantasy. This is the legacy of the Roman baths, one of the greatest public bathing traditions in human history. Today, we're exploring the history, architecture, and cultural significance of Roman baths, both in ancient Rome and in the stunning city of Bath, England. If you're a fan of history, wellness, or cultural travel, you'll want to stick around. Long before wellness spas became a global trend, the Romans had already mastered the art of bathing. Inspired by Greek traditions, the Romans built over 850 public bathhouses by the 1st century AD, turning a basic hygienic necessity into a daily ritual of cleansing, socializing, and healing. In Roman Britain, one of the most famous bathhouses was constructed around 70 CE in what is now Bath, England. Back then, the Romans called it Aquae Sulis, meaning waters of Sulis. The site was sacred to the Celtic goddess Sulis, whom the Romans associated with Minerva, the goddess of wisdom and healing. What made Bath so special? The geothermal springs, of course. These natural hot springs gush out more than 300,000 gallons of mineral-rich water daily, with temperatures above 104 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 degrees Celsius. Legend has it that Bladud, the father of the mythical King Lear, discovered the healing powers of the waters after watching his pigs wallow in the spring and recover from disease. Whether myth or reality, the Romans believed these waters had curative powers, and they built a sprawling bathing complex to honor them. So what exactly did a visit to a Roman bathhouse look like? Roman baths were more than utilitarian. They were experiential. A typical visit followed a loosely structured ritual through a series of carefully designed spaces. Each room served a specific function, both physical and social. Guests began in the apodyterium, the changing room. Here, bathers left their clothes in wall niches or entrusted them to slaves or attendants. Wealthier citizens often had their own servants. Others paid a small fee to have someone watch over their belongings. Next came the palestra, a gymnasium or open courtyard where light exercise took place. Romans didn't break a sweat to build muscle. This was about getting the blood moving. Activities included stretching, weightlifting, and ball games like trigon, a 3-person juggling game using leather balls. Once warmed up, the bather would progress to the tepidarium, the warm room. This was the heart of the Roman bath experience. Mildly heated and comfortable, it was the place to relax, chat, or begin rubbing down with oils in preparation for deeper heat. Then came the caldorium, the hot room. This was a steam-filled space with a hot plunge pool and radiant heat rising from the Hypocaust, an underfloor heating system. It was humid, intense, and designed to open pores and cleanse the body deeply. After sweating profusely, visitors often moved to the laconicum, a dry, intensely hot room, something between a sauna and a sweat lodge. Here, people sat in silence or meditated in solitude before making their way to the final stage. The frigidarium, or cold plunge, offered a bracing jolt. This step closed the pores, toned the skin, and signaled the end of the ritual. The shock of the cold water was invigorating. Romans believed it helped strengthen both body and mind. Behind the tranquility of the Roman bath was one of the ancient world's greatest engineering marvels. The Romans designed their baths with precision, especially when it came to heating and water supply. The lifeblood of the entire system came from the aqueducts, which channeled water from distant springs and mountains into the cities. These elevated stone channels could deliver millions of gallons of fresh water every day. Water destined for the hot rooms was stored in large bronze boilers. Heated by wood-burning furnaces, the water was piped into pools using lead or bronze plumbing, a technique centuries ahead of its time. But the real innovation was the Hypocaust system, an early form of central heating. Hot air from the furnaces was directed under the floors and into the hollow walls, creating sauna-like conditions. Floors were raised on small pillars to allow air to circulate, while thick stone slabs ensured heat retention. To walk on these scorching floors, Romans wore thick wooden sandals. In winter, some bathhouses even had heated walls, benches, and fountains. This blend of architecture, engineering, and wellness made Roman baths one of the most advanced public facilities in the ancient world. Roman baths weren't just places to clean up, they were places to connect. These spaces were open to people from all walks of life: politicians, merchants, soldiers, artisans, and even slaves. Some bathhouses charged a fee, but it was minimal. Entry was affordable, often subsidized by wealthy patrons or the state as a form of public welfare. It was here that deals were struck, gossip was exchanged, and news of the empire spread. You could enjoy a massage, a shave, or even a snack. Street vendors often wandered the premises with fruits, cakes, and meats. Many baths had attached libraries, lecture halls, gardens, and even performance spaces. They were truly the wellness centers of ancient Rome, where body, mind, and community came together. Even emperors were known to visit public baths, though often after hours accompanied by bodyguards. To be seen at the baths was a sign of good health, refinement, and civic engagement. Were Roman baths inclusive? That depends on how you define it. Men and women often used separate facilities or visited the same baths at different times of day. Typically, women in the morning, men in the afternoon. However, archaeological evidence suggests that mixed bathing did occur in some regions, especially during the empire's later years, which drew criticism from conservative moralists of the time. Class was also a factor. While baths were affordable, the experience varied. The wealthiest patrons might enjoy private sections or hire masseurs, oil scrapers, and attendants for a more luxurious visit. Meanwhile, commoners brought their own towels, oil flasks, and hoped nothing got stolen while they bathed. Still, the bathhouse was one of the few places where Roman society blurred the lines of status, if only for a few hours. Centuries later, the remnants of Roman bath culture still inspire awe. In Rome, the ruins of the baths of Caracalla and Diocletian showcase what were once vast complexes with soaring ceilings and intricate mosaics. Though weathered by time, their grandeur remains visible. But one of the most remarkable and complete examples lies in Bath, England. Built around natural hot springs, the Roman baths of Aquae Sulis remain largely intact beneath the city streets. You can still walk the perimeter of the Great Bath, gaze into the water once believed to heal, and explore ancient rooms echoing with 2,000 years of history. Though closed for swimming since 1978 due to water safety concerns, the site draws over 1 million visitors annually and is part of Bath's UNESCO World Heritage designation. It's a living testament to Roman innovation, spirituality, and their belief in the power of water to restore body and soul. Whether in ancient Rome or modern-day Bath, the story of the Roman baths is more than just history. It's a window into the timeless desire for health, community, and connection. In a world that often feels rushed and disconnected, maybe the Romans had it right. Slow down, sweat it out, and soak in the moment. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that blend ancient wisdom with modern wonder.